All right, 10 seconds. I'm putting back on your mic.
Welcome back to the Mr. Mortgage Show. Call us now, 561.
All right, so I am Mark Eitel, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show, and again, I want to thank you for spending a little bit of your weekend with us. Hopefully, you'll get out and do some good stuff this weekend, but for now, we're super happy that you're settled in, maybe with a cup of coffee, or I don't know, maybe you had a long night last night and you still have a bottle of beer or a cocktail in your hand. I have no idea, but we're certainly glad that you're spending a bit of your weekend with us. So yeah, the Anytime hotline is 561-291-8569. That's 561-291-8569. And again, you can call or text any questions to that number. Dom, my producer, is manning that line now. And also it pushes to my office during the week. Or visit the website, www.mr.mortgage. That's mr.mortgage. So in the spirit of the show and keeping Dom busy, we're going to throw it over to him for another question. What do we have?
All right, I have Lonnie from Juneau. I see what seems to be good to be true rates. I'm sorry, let me start over. I see what seems to be too good to be true rates advertised on Facebook. Is this some kind of special program or just a scam?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of scams on Facebook, aren't there? I had a friend request from a ridiculously young and super attractive young lady who told me that I'm the man she always dreamed of and she just needs me to help her make 1 or 2 mortgage payments. So yeah, I can understand your hesitancy. There's a lot of interesting information on Facebook. So I guess to answer your question, it may not be a scam, but it may not be full disclosure, if you will. So oftentimes when a rate is advertised that just seems to be much lower than what you're hearing everywhere else, listen, we all want to believe what we want to believe, right? That 2% interest rate is still out there somewhere, and yes, I qualify for this magic special program. And there are some special programs out there, but usually not around interest rates. So it's most likely that you're not just reading deep enough into the disclosures, or maybe they just left them out, which is sad because that's illegal to do. But anyway, they may be charging points, and points you can buy the rate down with origination or discount points. Or let's talk discount points for this conversation. What is a point? A point is a 1% of the loan amount. So on a $200,000 loan, 1 point is $2,000. So if you pay, typically you'll see in those ads 2 to 2.5 points. It'll say fine print on the bottom. That means you're going to pay a fee of 2 to 2.5% to buy that rate down. What that means is, let's say the normal rate for that particular day, for that particular program was 3%. And I don't know, I'm just using round numbers for the sake of this example. And you see an ad for 1.99%, which is just a sexy way to advertise 2%. That's a full 1% difference. So you may have to pay 2 or 3 discount points to buy that rate down. And that's how oftentimes those ads work. And they're super enticing, right? You see that rate and it's the rate that you saw in the paper 6 or 8 months ago. And we all want to think we're special. This is just for me, it's magic, I found it. But the reality is that most likely either it was intentionally left out by the advertiser, or it's just buried so deep in the fine print that you're not catching that. But if you're ever given a rate that seems too good to be true, my suggestion is just ask for a loan estimate, ask for a fee sheet, and ask them what fees are associated with this rate, because a lot of times we get caught up on the lowest rate. And we talked about it before, especially coming out of the environment of the last 2 years. There's that cocktail party rate where you're leaning against the plate or against the bar, sipping your cocktail, overlooking the buffet with the plate of pigs in a blanket, and you're bragging to your neighbor that you got the 1.99% cash out refi with no points. So there's that vanity component to the interest rate, and we all associate that with the best deal, but oftentimes, more often than not, there's so many other moving parts to a rate that the lowest rate doesn't mean it's the least expensive, the least expensive program for you. So sometimes there's those upfront fees with buying that rate down. So I just share all that to encourage you to ask more questions. But I celebrate you for looking into it, because it's enticing. And if you're not buying yet or you haven't purchased yet, I encourage you to do it. I know there's a lot of talk around the market. Is it still a good time to buy? And I pulled a report off the internet yesterday that was a home purchase sentiment index, and it was quite interesting, the topics that they were covering. So the first question was, is it a good time or a bad time to buy? And not surprising because of prices and interest rates, 29% of people surveyed said it was a good time, but 67% said it was a bad time. And that's the part I mentioned was not surprising, because there's a lot of frustration surrounding people who feel they've been priced out of the market. And then another thing I found interesting was 72% of the people surveyed said it was a great time to sell. 46% of the people surveyed believe that home prices are going to continue to increase. And then will mortgage rates increase? 67% of people surveyed do believe they're going to increase. This was interesting. Coming out of the pandemic, with all of the uncertainty around employment, 87% of the people surveyed felt really good about their current job, and that it was likely to continue, and they may see even a raise in the future. So that was a positive piece of this report. And then 27% of the people surveyed saw their household income increase. So a lot of good in that report, a lot of good reasons why now may be a great time to consider buying. And you hear me talk about it all the time. If you want to get in real estate, sure, it would have been better to do it 2 years ago, but the next best time is today. So when it comes to the interest rate side of it, though, read the fine print. And I welcome the opportunity to walk you through what rate you would qualify for and what programs would be available. If you're ever interested in that conversation, just give us a call during the week. Like I said, that hotline number 561-291-8569 pushes to the office. But if you're not quite ready for a conversation and you're just in that info gathering stage, I encourage you to visit the website, www.mr.mortgage. That's mr.mortgage. There's a lot of good information there that might help get you one step closer to making a decision. But yeah, those teaser rates are out there. Facebook is an amazing place to see some interesting offers, especially in the world of real estate and mortgages. And while we're on this, one thing I do want to throw out a word of caution to everybody is the scammers are out there. The scams are back. There's one that goes around from time to time where you'll see a property advertised on Craigslist and more recently on Marketplace and Facebook. And it's a rental, and it seems to be a ridiculously low rental price. So a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a pool for $1,400 in West Palm. Well, we all know that's the Loch Ness, not the Loch Ness monster, right? It's just not there. But again, we all want to believe what we want to believe, and it's super enticing. So you call that phone number in the ad, and they tell you, listen, I don't have time to show you the property. It's vacant. Just go out there and walk around it, look through the windows, and then call me back. And you do that. You go out. It's a fantastic neighborhood. The kids are excited. They love the idea of having a pool in the backyard. And you call that number back, and they say, listen, I'm out of town. I've got a ton of phone calls on this property. If you want me to hold it for you, just send me the first, last, and security. Send me money via Cash App. Wire me the money. And this is starting to become pretty prevalent again. You don't want to fall for that. If it's too good to be true, it most likely is indeed too good to be true. So get a real estate agent on your team who can do that research for you and make sure that you're actually talking to the property owner. And also, too, know that on the buy and lease side, if the real estate agent is representing you, often there's no fee to you. It's paid by the seller or by the landlord. So it's not a cost to have expert representation. So I hear the music behind me. We're going to jump into a break, but on the other side of this, we'll have more questions. You can reach me at 561-291-8569. That's 561-291-8569, or visit the website www.mr.mortgage.